Well, the midterm elections are a little over 6 weeks away. House seats in both Minnesota and Wisconsin are crucial to the balance of power in Washington. In Wisconsin's 7th District, Republican incumbent Sean Duffy of Hayward faces Democratic challenger Margaret Engebretson from Balsam Lake. Ms. Engebretson joins us now in the studio. Thanks for being here. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your decision to run for Congress.
Well, I live in Balsam Lake, which is in Polk County. It's about 2 hours south of here, near the Minnesota border. I am an attorney. I am also a veteran. I served in the Navy for 3 years on active duty, and then I did 21 years in the Guard and Reserve. I retired from the 148th Fighter Wing, which is right near here, after 24 years. And I also worked on the Burlington Northern Railroad for many years as a union locomotive electrician and train dispatcher.
You've been busy.
Yes, yes.
So were there specific issues that prompted you to jump into the race?
Yes, there was. The 2016 election, for me and for many people in this nation and lots of folks I've talked to in our district, were profoundly affected by the outcome of that election because of the divisive rhetoric and the direction that Donald Trump and the Republicans said that they wanted to direct our country in. And for myself, I think we need to be moving in the opposite direction. And divisiveness and toxic politics is antithetical, I think, to what we need to be doing as Americans.
Your response to the Judge Kavanaugh incident, as he's now facing allegations of sexual assault.
Well, that is, you know, what do you do? I mean, the first thing where this whole process kind of derailed in my book is that it has been rushed. And there are many, many documents that were not released in a timely manner. And look, this is a lifetime appointment for the U.S. Supreme Court. Let's take it methodically, systematically, and be very, very sure about what we're doing. And then now we have this allegation that comes out recently, and we need to just take it slow and find out what's going on, quite frankly.
Let's talk about some specific issues. Healthcare. What do you think the country needs to do, and what would you like to do in Congress to advance healthcare for folks who live in Wisconsin?
Yes, healthcare is the #1 issue that people talk about in my district and across the state, from what I hear. People are very uneasy about losing healthcare or not being able to afford it. So we need to transition to a Medicare for All public health insurance program that covers everyone from the day they're born until the day they die, so that never again does anybody have to worry about whether or not they'll have health care coverage. So currently, Senator Sanders has drafted a bill in the Senate for Medicare for All bill. I will be a co-sponsor in the House version of that bill. I think it is a high priority for our country to make this transition. We are spending far too much on health care costs.
Is there anything you'd like to see changed as far as cost of education goes?
Well, I think we have been, over the last several decades, we have been underfunding education, quite frankly. And teachers as a profession, we need to value them for who they are and what their profession is. These folks work tirelessly with our children, and we need to respect them, allow them to collectively bargain. We need to give them good benefits and pay, and also reduce class sizes so that the children have the best outcomes and the most attention from these teachers. So I believe in properly funding the things that all Americans rely on, and that's education, infrastructure, and healthcare.
As a member of the military, you were involved in national security. There's a debate going on about immigration and border security versus fair treatment of immigrants and their families. What do you think the solution is on that?
This is a long-term problem our nation has grappled with, and we seem to be never getting to the solution. So the current system as it is, we got to reform it. We've seen the weaknesses in that with the reprehensible family separations, when leadership does not execute the laws in a humane and professional manner. So what we need to do is provide a pathway to citizenship. There's 11 million undocumented immigrants in this nation. It is not feasible or practical and would collapse our economy if we tried to deport all of them. So that really leaves only one solution, and that is a pathway to citizenship for law-abiding folks.
You mentioned infrastructure. Does more have to be spent for broadband in your state?
You bet. You bet. It is supremely frustrating everywhere. So I travel a lot. There's 26
Sure.
counties in the 7th. Everywhere I go, broadband is slow or non-existent. And I was running a small law practice in Balsam Lake. Is super frustrating to not be able to do things quickly. So absolutely, that is a vital infrastructure component.
All right. Well, Margaret Engebretson, Democratic candidate for Wisconsin's Congressional District 7, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you
Appreciate
both
it
so
very
much.
All right, thank you.
Now, both candidates, we should mention, for the Wisconsin House seat were invited to share their views. According to his staff, Representative Sean Duffy was not available this week. He has not confirmed a date to join us.